welcome back to Get Down to Business. My guest today is a leader operating at the absolute cutting edge of his mission. Aric Coffman is the CEO of P3 Health Partners, where he is leveraging artificial intelligence and predictive analytics to completely transform modern healthcare. Instead of waiting for patients to get sick, Aric and his team use advanced data to identify at-risk individuals and deploy proactive outreach that keeps people healthy and out of the hospital. Aric, welcome to Get Down to Business.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So, Aric, your model shifts healthcare from reactive treatment to proactive wellness. How do you instill this proactive mindset into a large healthcare organization that has traditionally been trained just to react to sick patients?
Yeah, there's a lot of educating that has to happen. And I think it's critically important that the healthcare system and the individuals, it's a relationship business. And there's a lot of emphasis put on educating what's in it for the patients and the system in general, and then what's in it for the individual. Because value-based care is a win for all parties. And I really see us as aligning the financial source, whether that's the payer or the federal government, with the providers, with the patients.
Yeah, education is a big deal. And you're doing something I think that is absolutely awesome and so long overdue. But when you are relying on AI and predictive data to manage human health, trust is absolutely everything. How do you balance high-tech predictive algorithms with the high-touch, deeply personal relationship between a clinician and a patient?
Yeah, I think the way that we approach this is we are taking AI technology and getting that data to the point of care with the clinician in their workflow. And I think that's absolutely critical, is that it shows up in the way they're doing the work and the way they're treating the patient. So they're not having to go out and find another place or another source or compile data from two different systems. And the more you can integrate that, the simpler that job becomes in terms of being able to allow them to use that within the flow of how they're caring for that patient in front of them.
Aric, let's talk about a powerful real-world example of this in action. Your team recently used predictive analytics to identify vulnerable seniors and executed a massive outreach campaign, making over 4,000 proactive phone calls. Walk us through the logistics of that decision. How did the data guide your team, and what did those 4,000 personal touchpoints look like on the ground?
Yeah, so the touch points are driven by eligibility. So which patients are eligible for that particular activity. And in this particular case, this was for health risk assessments. And that is an intake form that you do each year for senior patients to ensure that you have a holistic view of what's happening with them. So it asks things about their housing situation, whether it's safe, whether it's not, do they have access to food? So it's going far deeper than what you would typically go in just a visit at the doctor's office, but it complements that. And because this agentic AI can, one, make multiple calls at one time, that allows us to reach more people. It also can fluidly move between languages. It can also fluidly change to different topics if that comes up for the patient. It has infinite patience. It's never in a bad mood. And the patients have really loved it. So when you look at the scores for those patients in terms of how they perceived that conversation, it was as high as a 9.3 out of 10.
That's amazing. I'm chatting with Aric Coffman, CEO of P3 Health Partners. Absolutely fascinating. Aric, you are a CEO steering a company through massive technological shifts, and I'm sure you face a lot of pressure. Where do you personally draw the resilience and mental clarity needed to lead P3 Health Partners through the rapidly evolving landscape of healthcare technology?
Well, one, I think with this kind of work for me, it has values congruence. This is something I'm very passionate about. I was a practicing general surgeon, and when I recognized that the healthcare system was sicker than my patients, I made the shift to operate on the system instead. And that's a really important element of why I do this work. The second thing for me is I got to spend time taking care of myself too. So I have a regimented way that I exercise each and every day. I try to eat very healthy. I meditate every day, and that helps me to be a better leader.
That's powerful stuff. And I really want to end our conversation on that theme for the business leaders, entrepreneurs, and coordinators listening today who are trying to manage their own teams and relationships What is that one critical leadership lesson you've learned from utilizing technology to build stronger human connections?
Yeah, I think the technology at this point is allowing us to operate kind of at the top of our license, and not spend so much time gathering information, gathering data, and even doing some of the basic analytics, but thinking broadly beyond that. And if you use technology in that way, it really does bring you closer to the conversations of how can we have impact. And then you get the opportunity to tap in to people's values and tap into what actually makes them tick.
Powerful stuff. Aric, I've loved our conversation, and I know our listeners are eating this stuff up, and I want to make sure that they can get in touch with you and your team. How can they do so?
The easiest way to get us is online at p3hp.org.
Fantastic. We'll link in the show notes to make it really easy for folks to get in touch. Can't believe we're halfway through the calendar year, and I know P3 Health Partners has big things in store. We can't wait to follow your progress, and like I said, we'll link in the show notes. But Aric, please do come back and continue to share lessons learned along the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and the opportunity.
Absolutely. We're going to squeeze in a quick break here on the show, all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. When we come back, we do have a lot more guests in store. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.